stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. They never get round to shagging, do they? Now, I'm sure some of you would have read about our next guest in yesterday's edition of The Sun. That's always assuming you're one of the 7 Sun readers who can actually read. The lovely couple are Claudia Tier and Andy Crossfield, who are planning to tie the knot after meeting on a fun-packed episode of Blind Date. Let's talk love and marriage with Claudia Tier and Andy Crossfield. Wow. Congratulations, you've popped the question and you have popped back the answer, which was the affirmative, I believe.
It was.
And when, have you set a date yet?
No, we've not set a date. There's plenty of things to do beforehand.
Yeah, but you haven't got any particular time scale in mind at all?
Maybe next year sometime.
Now, you met at Blind Date, as I said, but you didn't actually choose Andy, did you?
No, I didn't.
You chose another fella.
Yeah.
So you got together when, after the show?
Yeah, immediately after. There's a party. And we just got talking straight away and got on really well.
Well, what about the poor fella you did choose then? You just left him and rushed straight over? And
We got to understand, Jonathan, there are other people there, so it wasn't like he was stood in the room on his own while we talked. There were other people there for him to talk to.
But who was he chatting to then? He was looking forward to a hot night with you in Amsterdam, I believe you're going off to, and then you've gone off with, you know...
Well, I wasn't actually keeping tabs on him, but
right.
You tend to mingle anyway. There were lots of people for him to talk to.
Is that what happens normally after the show when people get backstage? Are they all split up from the one they've chosen and dash off to the one they actually fancy, or...?
I've only been on it once.
Because that kind of undermines the idea there's blind date, and then when you get to see them, you don't like the person who was the blind date at all. Is it now, one question I know that people often ask, they often ask me, and I have nothing to do with the show, but I guess they think I'm involved somehow. Is it scripted? Are the gags that you do when you ask the question and there's always the amusing answer to come back, is that scripted for you?
No, it's...
No,
you have an idea, but that's about it. It's all off the top of your head at the end of the day.
And so does no one talk you through it, or they don't?
It's true, it's true.
Trust me.
See, what I find weird about that is I used to know a guy who wrote the questions for Blind Date, and maybe they stopped by the time you came on board. I don't know. That must have been years ago. But there you go. Now, another question I know people must have asked you is how long had you actually known each other before you proposed, Andy?
I think I'd known Claudia about 4 weeks.
4 weeks? That's hardly any time at all. That's I mean,
how long do you need, Jonathan?
Well, I would have thought a little bit longer.
How long? 5 weeks?
Are you confident that, you know, this will, I don't mean to put a damp on it early, but it will last you know, each other 4 weeks and suddenly you're gung-ho about the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, you have to realise, like, we've spent sort of minimum of, like, an hour, 2 hours on the phone every night for 4 weeks. Yeah. You learn a lot about somebody.
Yeah, well, that'll soon change, mate, I tell you, as soon as you get married.
When you know, I've got the bill today. I've got the bill today. When you know, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm pleased for you. I hope it works out. Scylla, presumably, you'll have a hard time keeping you away, I should imagine, if recent history... Has she been invited, though?
Well, we've not set a date, so we can't tell her when to be there. So.
But I guess she will get one of those nice hats for the occasion, and she'll be down. Could we have a quick peek at your ring before you go? Let's have a look. There's the engagement ring, ladies and gentlemen. Hold it up there. Let's have a look. That's lovely. There you go. Look, beautiful. Oh, don't be horrible. You're a horrible man in the audience tonight, aren't you? I am going to take David Icke on you later. Listen, thanks very much for coming on the show, and best of luck. Congratulations and best of luck. Andy and Claudia, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Well, there you go. Live television. Join us again on Friday. That's all the time we've got for tonight. I hope Molly Parkin will be back, as well as Billy Bragg doing a bit of singing with artist Les Barb and comedian Kevin Boyle. Until then, my day you go. Good night.
Thank you.